Awesome. Well, Chris and everyone, thanks for joining another installment of the Team Genius webinar series. Where today, we're going to tackle and just kind of hopefully share some information on how you as coaches and club leaders can make the most out of attending your youth sports convention. First off, we will introduce ourselves. My name's Ben. I am the Associate Marketing Manager here at Team Genius, and I've been to a number of conventions in the past, attended, them both as a vendor and going to actually learn about the particular sport. So I'm certainly excited to talk with you guys today. And I'm joined by Chris. Chris, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Chris Bowen, one of our national account executives and a trade show convention aficionado. So I've been to a few over the years.
Great. Well, without any further ado, let's dive in, and I guess real quickly, if anyone that is joined us today, if you guys do have any questions, if you'd please just submit them through the chat, we will get to them as they come up. So first, we just wanted to, kind of inform you guys and just let you know that there is a convention in every single sport pretty much imaginable. The five big ones, the baseball convention, soccer, AVCA is the volleyball convention, LaxCon for lacrosse, and the AHCA also runs a hockey convention. They all go on. Typically, the AVCA, the volleyball one is here in December, but they typically happen, in December and January in various cities. And, if you do just a quick Google search, you will be able to find any of them.
Yeah, and I would just add there, Ben, I mean, those are the national ones. Every state association also has their own, and there's also a number of sponsors that will also host their own summit. So I believe the Quick Goal are hosting the Club Summit in Florida in February. So again, it's always advisable, take a look at your state association website for your sports or provincial one, and chances are there'll be something in your area in the near future.
Absolutely.
So with that,
Chris, you want to share?
Yeah, so why you should attend, and there's kind of four real reasons why anyone should go to a trade show or a convention. First off, the coaching, education, and development piece. Now, this is probably the most optimal opportunity for anyone that's a coach, an admin, a staff member to go in and learn from the best or people that are well respected in your fields. So I know, obviously, with the soccer one coming up, it's I think 3-4 days of back-to-back top speakers. But like I said, it's not just, hey, I'm a coach, this is something that I do well, or specifics to goalkeeping. If you're an administrator, you may learn skills of like what's the best registration procedures or being in compliance with using data. Again, it's kind of a good opportunity for you to learn. With that, you also have the ability to connect with vendors there. So you'll see everyone from companies like ourselves, Team Genius, with the player evaluation software, but also companies that are looking to provide apparel or helmets to your hockey association, trophies at the end of the season, whatever it may be. Chances are you're going to see that there from the variety of vendors. And then the last one is the ability to network with coaches. It's a great time for you to see old colleagues, people that maybe you've lost touch with over the years, and kind of see what's working well for them and take away some tips and tricks that you can bring back to your organization. Now with that, I'm kind of moving on. How should you choose your coaching sessions? Like I mentioned, there's lots that are applicable to your role in the program, whether you're an executive director, administrator, registrar, coach. Best part is just get on the websites. You can go to the state association, also the United Soccer Coaches Convention website, and you'll see every talk detailed out where they'll be and who is running those. Like I said, they are well respected, experts in their field. but I do recommend that you should research those people first. So if you're interested in maybe one of the topics, a couple of ways you should research them. First, Google. Everyone uses Google, but get on Twitter. A lot of these people are very prominent in the social media space, love to share little tidbits. And if it aligns with how you speak or how you see that kind of part of your game or your coaching experience, it may be worth allotting some time to go and watch them talk in person. So that's a couple of ways that you can get ahead of that there.
Hey, Chris, real quick, are there any sessions that you're looking forward to this year at any of the conventions that you'll be at?
Yeah, so I'm only going to be at the soccer convention in January, but there are two there. So the first one, and I'm hoping my flight lands in time so I can make it, the hiring and development of staff. That's by Matt Robinson on the Thursday. And then on the Sunday, Gary Cuneen is doing a talk about engaging today's player in their own improvement and growth. So two topics that I'm interested in, particularly with relation to who I work for. What about yourself, Ben? I know you're going to the Pittsburgh, the AVCA in December, this a couple of weeks' time. Is there anything you're looking forward to see then, or any other session you've enjoyed previously?
Yeah. So, I mean, one that sticks out to me that I just thought was fantastic, back in 2018 at the United Soccer Coaching Convention, I remember Hope Solo actually was there. And she allotted an hour, and it was basically a Q&A with her and everyone in the audience, just speaking on kind of, the overall soccer space and, where the sport's at, where it's going. And, it's actually pretty typical for, sports celebrities like that to show up and run an event at any of these conventions. And I thought that one in particular was awesome. And I think it was after they were coming off a gold medal in the Olympics. So that was very cool.
Nice. I know. I believe Jill Scott's going to be at United Soccer Coaches again. So the recent US Women National Team manager. So I'm sure she's going to be enlightening to listen to for those that get to attend that piece, of course.
Yeah, that'll probably be a popular one.
Yeah.
So following up on that, there are the educational sessions, which are great for coaches to go to, learn and pick up new tips and tricks from coaches and directors that are in your sport. The other piece to these conventions are the vendor marketplace, and Chris touched on it before. But I think, it's good to at least have a game plan going in, because if you are going to one of these conventions and you end up looking at the map, there's going to be about 150 different companies that are, going to have a booth. And it's like, okay, where do you start? So what I would recommend is, you go in with a game plan, right? You sit down with your club leaders beforehand, and maybe you need jerseys for this year. So then you look at the vendor marketplace map and choose a couple vendors that you want to talk to, and just, feel them out and maybe get their information on, what their jersey prices would be for the next season. Alongside of that, there's also going to be a ton of technology companies. And if you have a particular problem in your organization that you're hoping to solve, maybe you need a new website, you need a new registration system, you can go in, earmark a couple of those vendors and make a point to go talk to them instead of just, walking aimlessly around the marketplace, which is definitely one of the pitfalls to avoid. Chris, did you have something?
Yeah, I mean, I've always found this more valuable when you kind of break it down into that short, medium, and long-term goals. So like you said, they need new uniforms, they're outdated, you're wanting a rebrand. Maybe that's top of your list. Like you said, go to the website, outline those, and make a beeline from first in the morning. It's a great time to get there before the crowd swarm in and some of the people stagger in after a long night out, hanging out with their coaching contacts they've not seen for a while. But it's a good chance to just get in and get those discussions out of the way. So ask questions, like be engaged, because it's a great opportunity there. The one I always like, and it comes from like being prepared in the first place, is like, yes, let's have that short-term problem, but Also think a little bit down the line as well in terms of like what would be a nice to have, like because there is some interesting technology out there. I know 2 years ago there was a lot of VR companies at the soccer convention, and VR will move more regularly into our lives as the technology improves. But it's cool to go out and see, right, hey, how could the coaching environment change in years to come? So yeah, take a
Hmm.
look at the vendor map and pick out some companies and make a beeline. Is the best thing I'd say there.
Totally agree. And then just lastly, if you are a fan of the little tchotchkes and giveaways, almost every booth has them. And I've seen, a number of people in the past just go around and picking up, all the free stuff and throwing it in a bag. Maybe just, free giveaways such as, phone cases, pop sockets, whatever to bring back to your club. It can be, a fun thing to do. Maybe one of the last days.
One thing I'll add there, Ben, and it probably applied to the coaching sessions as well, so I should have brought it up a little bit earlier. Um, when you're exploring the vendor marketplace or even sitting on those coaching sessions, it might make more sense to do it alone or maybe in a small group. It is quite common to see people walking around in groups of 5 or 6 from other clubs. And yeah, it's great to get validation from your coaches, but also it's very easy to hear one of your group of 6 say no, and just you eliminate that entire vendor or that coaching session based on that person's kind of comment. So it's more, how does each of this align with the goals of your, like what your organization want you to achieve? So, and that comes from having that discussion early in the process, not I'm going to turn up and walk around and see what happens.
Totally. Um, so lastly, just some key takeaways, and hopefully things that you guys got out of this webinar is, go in with a plan. It's something maybe we should have mentioned earlier, but most of these conventions also have a mobile app that's part of them. Download the mobile app. The coaching educational sessions will be on there. The vendor marketplace map will be on there, and use that to plan your trip and be really diligent about the sessions you go to, the vendors you visit, and that'll can only increase and get you more value out of one of these conventions.
And
Chris, do you have anything else to add?
yeah, achieve your goals early. Like I said, get there early, ask your questions so you can take that information back to your club, share that information, and then you can enjoy the rest of the convention at your own pace from there on out. Well,
Awesome.
well, with that being said, if anyone on the call is planning on attending the soccer convention, I will be there with a number of my colleagues. Ben, you're going to be at the volleyball event in Pittsburgh later this month. But please do stop by the Team Genius booth if you ever have any interest in learning more about player evaluations.
Absolutely. And with that, thank you all for joining.